We just finished week 14 of the NFL season, and unlike last week in which there were not too many injuries to make a video about, this week there's a whole plethora of injuries which I'm going to talk about in today's video. So today I'm going to be giving you guys the NFL week 14 injury report. What's up everybody, it's AC Analysis, and like I said in the intro, today I'm going to be talking about the most notable injuries from week 14 of the NFL season. And I've been making these videos for 14 weeks now, and it has been the most popular type of content on my channel, so here I am with another one. And there have been many injuries this week that are very impactful to their team. But before we get started, if you guys enjoy consistent NFL content, remember, liking and subscribing would be really helpful. We're on the road to 100 subs, and we're actually pretty close, and every sub helps. And the shout out for today's video goes to Sports Earth. It makes a cool variety of NFL content, and you guys should really check them out. And now let's get right into the injury report. The first injury on our list is the starting quarterback for the Washington football team, Alex Smith. And in their win against the 49ers, in the first half, he suffered a right calf injury and did not return for the rest of the game, causing Dwayne Haskins to have to come in and throw 12 completions for 51 yards, not playing too impressive. But Alex Smith, of course, when you think of injuries in Alex Smith, you always think of that right leg injury that he suffered 2 years ago that almost enabled him to not be able to walk ever again. But he miraculously came back from it, and he has not been playing for most of this season, except for the past few weeks, in which he's been playing okay with 1,500 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. But the thing is, when he is playing, his team is winning 4 games in a row, the Washington football team. And his injury is a right calf injury, which is also the same leg in which he injured his leg 2 years ago. So that is always scary, but they say it's just some type of strain, and he should only miss 1 to 2 weeks, and then they have Dwayne Haskins as a starter. I still do believe that the Washington football team will win the NFC East. I just think that this might slow them down a bit for the next few weeks. The next injury on our list is a starting cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles, Rodney McLeod Jr., and in their really impressive win against the New Orleans Saints, he suffered a torn ACL and is out for the season. And first of all, this win was very impressive since Saints were one of the best teams in the league, but I feel like McLeod his entire career has been one of the more players that people don't really talk about. This season he has 66 tackles, 7 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries, a touchdown, an interception, and is the team captain nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's a vocal leader for the team, and he usually averages 75 tackles and 3 interceptions a season. He's been playing since 2012 and is one of the most consistent players in the league that I don't believe people are talking about. And this is a big injury to a team that really has no hope to making the playoffs, so it won't really affect the team's outcome. I just felt like putting it in the video. The next injury on our list is another injury to a player in the secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is Darius Slay. And he was actually in my video last week for the injury report with his own head injury. And now this week, while tackling Alvin Kamara, he went down with a head injury and did not return for the rest of the game. It's not confirmed how long he's going to miss, but I'm expecting him maybe to miss 1 to 2 weeks with this head injury. And he's been injured for 2 weeks in a row now, and their season is over to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if the coaches just sat him for a little bit so he can get some time to rest in this lost season. The San Francisco 49ers had another player on their team be out for the rest of the season, and that is Deebo Samuel. And in their loss to the Washington football team, Deebo Samuel was running an end around, which he specializes in, and re-aggravated a hamstring injury towards the end of the run, and now he's out for the rest of the season. And if you watched my videos in the beginning of the year, you would know how many injuries the 49ers dealt with. They have Nick Bosa out for a year, they have George Kittle out for a year, Garoppolo, and many other starters, having probably one of the worst injury bugs that I've ever seen. But Deebo Samuel, this is his second year in the NFL, and in his first year in which he made the Super Bowl, he had 800 yards and 4 touchdowns, making the all-rookie team. And then in 2020, he's been injured for most of the season like most of the 49ers, and this season he has 400 yards and 1 touchdown. So Deebo Samuel is still a very, very good player for the team, but he's out for the rest of the season, and the poor 49ers just cannot catch a break. The next injury on our list is another big one, and that is the starting safety for the Houston Texans, Justin Reid. And in their pretty horrible loss to the Chicago Bears, in which they lost by like 30 points, he suffered a hand injury and is now out for the rest of the season. And Reid is probably one of the most prominent young safety talents in the NFL, playing since 2018 and averaging about 60 tackles and about an interception a season. His best season was probably in 2018, in which he had 3 interceptions and 88 tackles. In 2020, he hasn't played that much because he's had some injury problems, but even though he has missed few games, he's still at 85 tackles. So Justin Reid is one of the best safeties in the league, in my opinion at least, and him being out will affect the team, even though the team already does not have any playoff chance. The second to last injuries on our list will be to starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford, and in their 31-24 loss against the Green Bay Packers, In the fourth quarter, Matthew Stafford was scrambling out and ended up falling down taking a sack, and he took a rib injury in which people are expecting him to miss few weeks with the rib injury. Monday there was some positive news that the ribs weren't too serious, so there is a chance for him to return next week, but I wouldn't be too optimistic since the Lions probably are not going to make the playoffs in a very contested NFC, so he might not come back. They might just want him to get out. And Matthew Stafford has also been one of the best quarterbacks of the recent decade. In his career since 2009, he has 45,000 passing yards and 278 touchdowns to 143 interceptions. And to be completely honest with you guys, his career has been wasted in Detroit. He is a solid starter quarterback who's had to play with a very bad, corrupt Detroit organization in his entire NFL career, and I wouldn't be surprised if he moved on to a different team after this, or possibly low chance even retire. We'll see what happens, only time will tell. The final injuries on our list will be the three key components on the offensive side of the ball for the Miami Dolphins, and in their pretty impressive loss to the Chiefs, in which they put up a good fight, Devontae Parker, Jakeem Grant, and Mike Gesicki were injured in the second half and did not return for the rest of the game. Jakeem Grant's injury was an injury in which he called a fair catch, yet he was still hit before the ball was actually given to him, and he suffered a knee injury and did not return. It's not confirmed how much time he's going to miss, but currently he is one of the best kick returners in the league, so that will hurt the team. The next one is Mike Gesicki, and in the fourth quarter he suffered a knee injury and did not return. He's expected to play in week 15 and it's not that serious, but Gesicki I feel like is one of the best tight ends in the league, and he's really good in the red zone especially, and is pretty much right now Tua Tagovailoa's best friend. In the past few weeks he's had over 200 yards, which is absolutely incredible. And then last but not least, Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker currently this season has 700 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. A little bit of downplay compared to his season last year, but he also had a leg injury, same with Mike Gesicki, and he's not actually expected to play next week compared to the other two guys. And since the Dolphins are really pushing for a playoff spot in a super contested AFC conference, this will hurt the team a lot, since these are the three most powerful, pieces on their offense besides maybe Preston Williams. And so yes, this will hurt the team. With that being said, that'll wrap up this video. This has been AC Analysis talking about the biggest injuries from Week 14 of the NFL season. And there are many big injuries in today's video that I'm really happy I told you guys. But before we end the video, if you guys enjoy consistent football videos like these, liking and subscribing would be really helpful. We're on the road to 100 subs and every sub helps. And if you want a shout out, make sure to comment down below. And we can help all of our channels grow together. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.